There are musicians who are just masters of their craft. And then there are the ones who come along and completely redefine the whole game. Francisco Sanchez Gomez, who the world came to know and love as Paco de Lucía, was absolutely one of the latter. So today, we're going to dive into the story of a true musical revolutionary.
That's a pretty bold statement, isn't it? But for so many people, it's just a simple fact. What we're going to unpack is how this man, through sheer dedication, managed to do two incredible things at once. He took the art of flamenco to a global stage, and at the very same time, he breathed new life into it, making it more vibrant than ever.
But look, to really wrap our heads around the revolution he started, we first have to understand what he was revolutionizing. We need to go right to the source, to the very soul of flamenco itself.
See, flamenco isn't just a genre of music. It's the cultural heartbeat of a people. It was born in Andalusia, in the south of Spain, and it's this incredible tapestry woven from Arabic, Byzantine, Hebrew, and Gitano influences. It's the raw, powerful expression of people on the margins, and you can hear it in what's called cante jondo, or deep song. This is where all of flamenco's power comes from.
And this is exactly where Paco de Lucía's journey begins, right in the heart of that tradition. He didn't just learn flamenco. He was literally born into it. From the time he was a little kid, it was obvious he was something special, a true prodigy. His hands just knew what to do. He learned from the absolute masters, guys like Nino Ricardo. Then, on a trip to New York, he soaked up everything he could from legends like Sabicas and Mario Escudero. But the real game changer was his collaboration with the singer Camarón de la Isla. My word. Together, they made 10 albums that are just historic. They cemented Paco's reputation as a master of pure traditional flamenco, but they also planted the seeds for everything that was to come.
And then came the 1970s. This was the moment when a single, completely unexpected hit song would just launch him into a whole new stratosphere of fame.
The year was 1973, a real turning point.
And the song that did it? It was a rumba, of all things, called Entre Dos Aguas. This track from his album Fuente y Caudal just blew up. It became a massive #1 hit, which was something that nobody, least of all him, saw coming. Just think about that shift for a second. One minute, he's this incredible guitarist, deeply respected by the flamenco purists. The next, he's a global superstar. Suddenly, the whole world knew his name. And with that spotlight on him, he was about to do something truly revolutionary. He started working with musicians from all kinds of different backgrounds, and in doing so, he showed that tradition and innovation weren't enemies. In fact, they could create something amazing together.
What's so amazing is the balance he struck. He never ever lost that raw, emotional core of cante jondo, the stuff he learned on the street. But at the same time, he just fearlessly dived into the complex harmonies of jazz, the energy of rock, and the pure freedom of improvisation. This beautiful mix. That became his signature sound.
And if you want the perfect example of this in action, you have to talk about the legendary trio he formed in the late 70s with the British guitarist John McLaughlin and the American virtuoso Al Di Meola. I mean, can you imagine these three giants from completely different musical worlds coming together to create absolute magic? The result? The timeless masterpiece, Friday Night in San Francisco.
And Paco's own words really sum up his whole philosophy. He basically said, look, my roots in flamenco are so deep and strong that adding some new ideas, like jazz chords, isn't a threat, it's an addition. He knew he was paving the way, opening the door for generations to come.
But this whole revolution wasn't just about ideas. It was physical. It was in his hands. The way he actually played the guitar was a revolution all on its own.
Let's geek out about his guitar for a second. It wasn't just any guitar. It was custom made for him by a craftsman in Granada, tailored perfectly to his needs. The neck had a bit more curve, the gut strings were spaced a little wider apart, and these weren't just for comfort. These tiny adjustments gave him the control he needed for his lightning-fast picado runs and complex chords. It let him play in a way nobody had ever heard before.
When you listen to him, what's just astonishing is the clarity. Every single note is so clean, so brilliant. Even when he's playing at these mind-boggling speeds, you can really hear his classical training in that precision.
But, technique alone doesn't make a genius. His real magic, the thing that gives you goosebumps, was in the emotion. It was in the endless variety of colors and feelings he could pull out of those 6 strings. It was a voice that was completely and uniquely his. So Paco de Lucia's legacy is so much bigger than just his own amazing career. He didn't just revolutionize flamenco. He basically ensured its future by breathing all this new life into it. And this, right here, is the heart of it all. He proved that fusion, mixing things together, doesn't weaken a tradition, it makes it richer. By bringing in jazz, he wasn't watering flamenco down. He was expanding its language, giving it new ways to speak.
Because he always respected the soul of the music, his incredible skill and vision meant that flamenco wouldn't just survive, it would grow, it would thrive.
So it leaves you with this one big, lingering question, doesn't it? How can one person take an art form that's centuries old, turn it completely on its head, and somehow make it even more powerful and more true to itself? Well, that's the mystery. And that, right there, is the enduring genius of Paco de Lucía.